right, so welcome back. This is our second episode ever of This and That with Freddie
and Matt.
And our first guest ever, this is going to be goofy, is, you know who he is, Tim Ripper Owens. Hi.
Hello, fellas. Yes.
What's up, Tim? I see you representing the Charred Walls shirt, man.
I never ever wear this. I just happen to pull it out. I don't wear a lot of concert shirts actually, but I thought I'd put it on. What the hell? It's 100 degrees out. Why not?
Yeah,
I feel like I actually feel like I am burning in the charred walls of the damned right now. It's so hot out.
Are you up in an attic or something at the top part of the house?
No.
Okay,
it's downstairs in the studio with thingamabob.
Cool. So yeah, we're just BSing with people, and I figured we should probably all talk about the elephant in the room real quick.
Yeah, that's it. That's great. Is that your pet?
It's Elephant McPherson.
Oh, right.
Supermodel. So anyway, now we have that addressed, we can move on. So yeah.
Do you have her addressed? Is she in a proper dress, or?
Yeah, she's got enough hair.
Okay.
So we were just talking about South America. You're going down there pretty soon again, right?
I am. Yeah, I think on the 29th I leave for Latin America. First time in a while now that everything's opened up, and I got really excited when the U.S. lifted the test policy to come back into it.
Yeah, that was just like last week, I think, right?
Yeah, because I was like, my last show's in like Tijuana, and I told them just to fly me out of San Diego and I'll cross the border there. It's way easier than flying back to Mexico City or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to go stand in a line and hopefully I can get a COVID test one. You know what's funny though, guys, is I complain about being tested, but to be honest, I always found it funny that you have to be vaccinated to get in all these other countries. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean I don't have COVID. You know, I mean, vaccinated people are, like myself, are super spreaders just like anybody else. So basically, without getting tested, everybody on the plane could actually have COVID while they land there. I mean, so it's always kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Same with the concert venues.
Yeah.
You're okay if you have your proof of vax, but if you don't, you have to take a COVID test. But same thing.
It just means some of the unvaccinated might die quicker. So I mean, we're just gonna, what the hell? It's metal.
More elbow room at the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the other thing we were gonna talk to you about was so KK's Priest is obviously one of your latest things. I don't know if you picked it up, Matt, but it's a ripper. I put it in and I'm like, wow. I was expecting it to be good because it's KK's awesome, but it's on constant rotation over here, especially the Return of the Sentinel.
Yeah, it's my favorite too. You know what? It's funny when people say, well, it kind of sounds like Judas Priest. And so maybe it kind of sounds like KK Downing.
Yeah.
Because now you can see when you hear the songwriting and the licks and the rhythms
exactly.
Wow.
The influence, that he had on Judas Priest, and that he will always have on Judas Priest.
I mean, you listen to the last record, Firepower, which was a good record, but the only thing it had about that to me that sounded like Judas Priest was Rob Halford. The rest of it didn't have those classic moments because Glenn and Ken really probably that Glenn wasn't probably writing too much, and which that being said, I think it's a great record. I thought it was a fantastic record for him, but that's what this record is. So when people say that, it's fun. It's just it's a heavy metal record, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I don't know. People always expect something different, as we know. Well, it's not like the last band you were in, or I'm sure we all get that enough. You know
what I also tell people is this isn't a solo record from Ken while he was still in Judas Priest, because then it might sound different. Maybe he would have made a different sounding record, right? But to be honest, this is all he knows. He's been writing these songs since early 70s, and he's not in Judas Priest anymore. So he's going to continue to write the same stuff, So it's good. It got a good reception, and unfortunately we couldn't tour with it because of COVID. And the problem now is all the big tours, the size that we want to do, they're all kind of the tours that were moved ahead from the COVID time. You know, people's like, how
Yeah.
come you're not touring? It's like, well, we're not just gonna tour on a crappy tour. Just get out there. Everything has to be right, you know.
Yeah, we tried booking some shows in Texas for May. You know, we tried months and months out because they were one of the only states to let you do what you want, and all the clubs were booked because so many other bands wanted to play down there, and we just couldn't get enough dates together to make it happen. So
Yeah.
we're just waiting for this all to iron out and go back
Yeah.
to normal again.
People will say to me, how come you've been doing some shows? And I said, well, I'm playing clubs and small venues and whatever it takes for me to tour. It's places that you can maybe squeeze in and do, right? It's, KK can't just book. We can't get KK's Priest to book, Bob's Big Bamboo or something like that. You got to, I'll go there. I have no problem going there.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those weird things, man. Bittersweet, knowing friends that are in the business and had suffered for the last 2 years, man. I'm so happy that there's this flood of live music coming back out and people are getting back out and being able to tour and people are able to go see them and support those bands. So for me, it's bittersweet. It's tougher for a band like Ashes with Freddie and I because we don't do this full time,
Yeah.
So we were hoping to get out there and get stuff, but when everything's booked up because all the other bands, the working bands are out there filling it up. It's like I said, it's that bittersweet thing. I love to see that it's happening, but it also kind of hurts us just trying to get out there and promote the record. So
absolutely, it's hard to do it
anyway.
It's hard to do it anyways. I obviously capitalize on my name because I've been fired from more bands than people have been in. So it's kind of like, someone's going, hey, what's he going to play in the set? You got like 20 bands to pick from. So it's kind of, they're able to catch, if I probably went to do Beyond Fear, I would actually have the same problem as you guys would have, if they're not, it's like, you can't afford to, it's hard to afford to do it. Now me, that's my living. That's it. I make a living. And it's hard for me to go, hey, I'm making, $100 for a show or something. It's like, holy shit, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's
and we can't either. We can't go into into a touring proposition where we're losing money. I mean, we lose enough money, just the time that we have invested in them. And we're not belly aching about it for sure, but we don't make money on this band. But we can't afford to go out there and lose money. That's food out of my kids' mouths, so to speak. So
you're right. And that's what people don't understand, isn't it? Because, you do that when you're 20 years old and you don't have a family, a mortgage.
Yeah, it's just you at that point. You can do all the sacrificing you want at that age, but now you can't. You really can't.
I mean, times change so much, because the older you get, the let's say you make more money, but the more expenses you have as you get older. You spoil your kids, you got bills, and I look at how time is now, and I couldn't do any of that either because I actually couldn't probably afford to live the way I do now off of what I made in Judas Priest when I first joined him. So it's kind of like I look back on that time and think, man, how could I? Because I could only do Judas Priest, I couldn't do other stuff. Right now, I do 800,000 things and I'm recording in the studio all day. But yeah, you get older and all of a sudden you realize, man, how did I even live back then? I want to go. I actually want to go back to that time when I didn't have bills.
Yeah, who wouldn't, man? And now, too, being older, it's like the stuff I used to do. I can't stay in a Motel 7 anymore. Sorry.
Yeah. It is. All of that stuff is funny, and it's just like I'll sacrifice some things and go on some of these tours and be like, well, the only thing I ask when I'm on tours, no matter what tour is, I always have to have my own room. I'll go. The band will be in one room and I'll be in the other. So
no, it makes sense.
I said there's one, because first of all, I don't hang out at the venues, even pre-COVID. I go to the show right before I'm on. I leave if I have to do a quick signage or they see me leaving, I sign stuff, and then I get back to the hotel, and that's where I stay. I put on Netflix and I sit and watch, Hulu or Netflix or something, that's it, and but that's the only, and sometimes I feel like you're a prima donna just for asking for my own hotel room. And it's like, okay, that's the only thing I need. Okay.
No, because well, the other thing is too, man, we ain't in our 20s anymore, and that recovery time,
Yep.
you gotta have that.
Yeah, and these guys are drinking. I remember John Schaefer used to say, and I've taken a saying that he said. He used to say to people, "This isn't vacation. This is our job." He would say to because, and I've used that with my band members, because the problem is the band members, it is vacation to most of them.
To some, for sure.
Because they have their job and then they go out and do it, and then they think, yeah, let's have beer. That's another reason why I remember doing the Project Rock thing, and that became A New Revenge. Kerry Kelly and Rudy Sarzo and James Kotek, and we would go out and do this. And when we would travel in a train through Siberia, I would always share a train car with Rudy room, because Rudy's been sober for 30 years, 40 years, I don't know, forever. And so they knew I didn't drink, and those guys were all going to be in the car next, up there, sitting there all night drinking beer. And so they always put Rudy and I together, and we would just tell a few stories. I would listen to a few stories and then go to bed, So that was the other thing. Those guys want to have some drinks and they want to do that stuff. And I want to lay down, and like you said, Matt, we got to recover. I don't want to talk to people and do that. I never did that much anyways. I wasn't a big person on that, but I'm really good at being lazy when it comes to touring, other than on stage.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, I like to talk. I like to get out there and chat with people. But the reality is, talking is a terrible thing to do to your voice.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing,
especially after you get off stage and your throat is swollen anyway. Your cords are. I mean, I don't know about you. I like whenever I'm touring, I call it my cocktail, and it's usually consists of either Aleve or ibuprofen and my vitamins or whatever that I take, daily, because you got to keep something in you to keep that inflammation down, keep the swelling down and all that, because no matter how trained a vocalist you are, you can't be a trained vocalist and do metal, without there being some kind of repercussions. I mean, I think
it was a lot easier when we were younger. Yeah, I got like the liquid IV in a bag now that I make sure I drink to try to keep the fluids going. It's supposed to be good if you get hoarse. I do all that, and it is. It's but when I was younger, I didn't have to do anything. It was just kind of like, all right, and now it's like I just wake up. I'm like, I mean, my voice was struggled for years. I went through a bad time. This was around the COVID time and pre-COVID, probably 3 years before. I was struggling and I couldn't figure out. I'm not a drinker. I'm at home, and I think it's when I have to sing other things like Dio, or I do tours like that. That's not me. If I go do my solo tours, singing Classic Priest isn't that hard of stuff to sing. My stuff's harder to sing usually than the Classic Priest. And then, it's just more suiting. And then you start belting out other stuff that's not yours, especially Ronnie Dio, because he might sound easy, but then all of a sudden I realized at the end, it's like, you know what? You're sucking the high notes right out of me. Like I'd go to sing my stuff and be like, I have no high notes left. I just sang Kill the King and all this shit. Next thing you know, it's like, holy crap, man. But yeah, it's funny as you get older. You have all the cocktails, you get the steamer. I mean, it's so changed so much. I'm like, I drink so much water. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. It's different. For me, it's different when you're essentially doing a cover of somebody trying to do their voice, or trying to do your best interpretation of their voice. And I think we've had this conversation before on another interview. I think maybe Metal Voice, like when I was trying to do, Declaration Day or whatever, trying to do my best Tim Ripper Owens impression. That's tough, man. It's tough singing somebody else's stuff,
It is tough
all day long.
And that's a tough one for me. So
yeah,
that song.
Yeah. Thanks, John Schaefer.
There's some that's made for me, like Burning Times. I mean, I just love opening and singing that. It was like, it felt like that's right with me, man. That song has it blends the lows and the highs together just so nicely, and it's perfect. And then there's other songs that you did that would be like, yeah, that's not it. That one's tearing me up. And, Declaration Day was the same thing. I mean, that was a killer of a song to sing. I mean, that was, and another one was 10,000 Strong was the one.
That's crazy, man. Crazy.
Because there was nowhere to breathe. It's like, it was just upper register, nonstop, nowhere to breathe. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I think I don't know, Freddie, for however many tours we did, those two songs were right back to back. I think we went from 10,000 Strong to into Declaration Day. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, he was doing that on purpose, wasn't he?
Probably.
I think so.
I think we did it early in the set though, which was good.
Yeah, that's the other thing I realize I do now, guys, is I remember throwing, I could throw all the hard stuff at the end, Scream Machine or whatever. I'd put them away. And now, like, I'll get up on stage and I'll open with Painkiller sometimes. And people would say, man, that's a hard one to open. And I said, actually, it's a nice warm-up song because it's not pretty. It's raspy. It's got lows and highs. It's almost like I'm warming myself up. I said, and I don't want to do that later on. I'll just get it out, out of the gate, I just start. Like first 6 songs ago, anything I need to put here, I'm going to put here. Not that they're easy at the end, but all of them. But I put the ones that I just know might give me difficulty, and that's how it changes. It's I don't know how this tour is going to go in Latin America because I haven't toured, and I got it's really a brutal tour. Now it is a set that I should be fine with. I am doing Hellfire Thunderbolt from KK's Priest in it. And that's got a little bit of high stuff and some little bit of all over, but it's a pretty not too bad of a set. We're doing a little nod to Dio. We got Last in Line and Heaven and Hell at the end of the set, so we kind of give a little nod to him. And those are the only I worry about that a little bit, but it's like when you have tour for so long, then you got 15 shows in 17 days. You're like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah,
but the set. But Matt, something when it's your set and your music. You can sing it however you want.
That's true. Well, that's true. I mean, and the thing is, I don't really even think it's I mean, obviously you're trying to pay tribute to, your friends, your idols, the best you can. But at the end of the day, man, you're Tim Owens, bro. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. So you can go out there and do the Tim version of whatever the fuck you want. Well,
that's pretty much what I do now. I've kind of, and you know what? I've got a lot of similarities to Ronnie anyways. It's kind of funny. Now I get more people, unless I'm in high notes, I get more people saying, yeah, your Natural Voice reminds me more of Ronnie now than I can't believe it. And I said, well, first of all, I've gotten older and I've gotten raspier, so, but yeah, I just kind of, you can do it however you want. I did a show this Saturday at the Whiskey with this band I recorded 6 songs with. They're from Texas. They flew me out there, paid me great. It's great stuff. It's kind of hard rock, got a little Dio to it. And this guy just wanted to do it. He was opening up and wanted to do this show. And they flew in from Texas. I flew there, and I never sang it. I sang it in the studio in California last year, but I've never sang with them, and I've never sang the songs kind of since inside that studio where I learned them and sang them.
Right.
And so I jumped on stage at the Whiskey to sing these songs with him for the first time. And I said, the only good thing is if I mess up, nobody knows these songs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they might like my version better. I don't know. So
yeah, that's it. And I don't know about you, man. I always have a little bit different style because when you're recording stuff in a studio, I mean, I've tried to be a little bit more cognizant of it when doing Ash's stuff. But honestly, when I was in doing stuff with Iced Earth and we're getting ready to record these songs, I mean, I'm doing stuff in there without really thinking about the ramifications for a live show. So
yeah.
Then when you start putting together your live show, you're going, fuck, dude, I can't. I got to do this way. Because I have to breathe here somewhere. So I'm gonna jazz it up a little bit. I'm gonna do some things, and I think in the long run, I usually end up liking the live versions of those things better anyway. The way I deliver them. So it's just one of those things. I try to be, like I said, I try to be cognizant of it more now. But before, when I wasn't calling all the shots, as far as what was going on, and we're building these songs, a lot of them in the studio or pretty damn close to it. you don't know what those live ramifications. And it's funny because I always go back to this. Jim Morrison. Whenever we were in the studio with Jim for Ice Earth stuff, and we would go, how's that going to sound live? And he says, I don't really care, because that's not my gig. I want it to sound good here. I don't care how it sounds live. You guys got to figure that out later on. So I thought that was sort of always funny. He's right, but it does oftentimes sound a little bit different, or I have to approach things differently in a live setting than when you're actually recording. So
Jim with this perfect pitch, he was always fun.
What a dick, right? Man.
What an ear though. Jeez.
Perfect he's pitch, man.
He's like, nope, that's wrong. Do it again. Son of a,
you're flat. I had a song on my Beyond Fear record called The Human Race, and I rehearsed, we wrote them, that was the good thing about the records. We wrote them and rehearsed them, and it was great. But I pretty much learned to sing The Human Race a little sharp. So going in that studio, it was like, I can't. I mean, this is the only way I've sung it. And it, sometimes it doesn't, you can be a little sharp.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be a little bit, but anyways, I remember doing that. I'm just like, I was so frustrated. I'm like, dude, this is the only way I know how to sing it. I don't even know how to do this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was good though. He had a good ear though, but it was perfect pitch all the time. Like, woo, man, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's quite the taskmaster for sure.
Yeah.
But great guy to work with, man.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. I haven't seen him in years and years. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, totally. So our latest album's doing actually really well, and the comments we get on the song with you on it, just we didn't know how people are going to receive it, but man, they love it, and they just love the work you did, both of you guys, and they always want to ask how it came together, and I think we've already told the story, but before the last album, we were going to have this song on there, and I was telling Matt, I'm like, let's see if we can get Tim on this. I go, I'm hearing him in my head with you, and I'm thinking, Matt, since you're a cop, let's make you the bad guy in this song,
Yeah.
And so
nice. Yeah.
The opposite of what you are in real life. So we started throwing it together, and then Tim, you heard my shitty version of my vocals that I threw on for the guide.
Probably. No, they were good. You sounded great.
Oh, thank you. So Matt redid them, and then there was just a couple of parts. I'm like, no, I just do a couple of screams here, and you did them, and I'm like, it's one of those things when it comes out exactly the way you picture it, you're just like, wow. And like everybody's really loving it. Really appreciate it.
But the thing is, it's a great song. The Matt's delivery is always is just amazing and fantastic. But I think what people dig also about it is that we got us guys on this tune together, and they're like, wow, because what? First of all, people, and Matt knows, they always want people to be enemies. This singer and this singer, and it's like, Matt and I've always been friends, and Rob Halpern and I are friends, so it's always kind of a funny thing. But I think when people see that kind of a song and they see us doing that together, it really makes them. And then the song's so kick ass too, so it's kind of not like something you threw together, some cheesy "We Are the World" or something like that. I mean, we didn't go do Beat It together, but so it's kind of I think the fans were so excited to see that, and that's hearing the talk about it.
Yeah, it's like Elton John and Kiki Dee when they finally did a song.
Well, I was gonna do "Islands in the Stream."
Oh wow.
That is what we are. Yeah.
And and of course I would have taken the Kenny Rogers part.
Well, hey man, I'll tell you, it's funny because Dolly Parton's a huge influence on me. So yeah. So
well,
I'd have been fine doing Dolly.
It was either that or Ebony and Ivory, so we're gonna have to, which could have been a nice one nowadays. That would have been good.
It would have been, yeah.
Ivory and Ivory.
Yeah, we could bring the world together.
We could try at least.
Listen, we're never going to bring the world together when we have to change the name of Monkeypox because it's racist.
Oh, goodness, I know.
We are never going to bring the world together. When I saw that, I'm like, I hate to even bring stuff up like that, but when I saw that yesterday, that they have to change the name Monkeypox because, first of all, I called it that they were going to have to change the Monkeypox name, but I thought that it was going to be offensive to the monkeys.
Right.
Right? No, I wasn't joking. Some animal activist would say, this is not right. You can't do that for the monkeys. But when I saw it because it's racist, I'm thinking, who thinks of this shit? Who thinks
it came from a monkey. Let's call it monkeypox.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait for the chickens to revolt.
So Skid Row cannot do that monkey business song anymore. That's done.
No, done.
Just gonna have to call it business, dub business.
So I was gonna ask you too. Was the last big tour you did the hologram tour back in 19?
Probably was. I did a lot of Three Trimmers tour, so it wasn't those weren't big tours. But we toured a lot with Three Trimmers all over the world.
Yeah, man, you guys were pretty extensive, man, from what I saw.
And it was fun. It's cool to do it. I mean, the crowds aren't. It's funny because I get as bigger crowds at my solo shows, bigger crowds at my solo shows, just because it's marketed different. But Sean Peck really pushes it and does it right and gets it out there, and everything's over the top. And yeah, we toured everywhere, but the biggest one we did was the hologram one, the last big one. Yeah,
that was the funny thing about when you guys came to Phoenix. My wife and I were kind of in the front row to the side, and Love Hate came on, and I love that band. I never got to see them before. We were so excited to see them live. So the whole time we're just jamming up, and we were the only ones out of the thousands of people there standing up, and we're looking around back crowd like everybody sitting there. Like, we were embarrassed for our city. We're like,
They were good every night. He warms up for like an hour. He just walks around singing, warming up for an hour back. I don't make a peep, and he's back there just warming up and warming down. And it was a great tour. He sounded great every night, and it was great.
They were a very tight band. I mean, you guys, as always, I'd seen you several times before. You guys were always great, but first time seeing Love Hate, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like,
they were fantastic. Yeah.
So, anyway, with that, anything else, Matt?
You were talking about Three Trimmers, so definitely give a shout out to those guys, to Sean and to Harry. Man, Harry's one of my favorite people in the world. Super funny, super nice guy.
He's a great singer, Matt, and there's nobody like him in the world.
No. They broke the mold with Harry.
No, he is, and it never ceases to amaze me. And we will be traveling, getting in the van at some country, who knows where, and it's 5 a.m, and he gets in and is in the back. And I like silence. Nobody talk. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna sit here. And he's singing Britney Spears, and he's singing away like just happy and cheerful. And I'm just like, how? Why? Some of the things he says and does, and his dancing on stage, he does kicks like the Rockettes, and we're doing this tribute to Ronnie Dio, Heaven and Hell, and he's thrusting his hips like, oh yeah. And I'm thinking, what, man? He is, and he's such a great guy and a great singer. They broke the mold with him. There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we got to do several tours with Jag Panzer and Harry, and just super nice guys. Mark Bridie, I'm sure you've met Mark before. I mean, just super great guys.
Yeah.
Rickert, he's the Viking. He's gone back to his Viking roots. I haven't spoken to him in a while since he's gone full Viking, but that's good stuff, man.
You never go full Viking.
No.
Anything else you want to plug or let people know about?
No, I got a lot of good stuff in the works I can't talk about. I'm kind of working on stuff and doing this and that, and I got this big South America tour at Latin America. So everybody go to all my pages, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, website, whatever page you want to go to, and the Twitter, and I'm always posting that. But check that out and all that good stuff.
And we'll put all the links down here, so when this shows, people will be able to see it and click on them.
Yeah.
So, great talking to you, man, again. And
yeah, man.
Awesome. We'll do it again when we get back. First, when I get back, we'll see if they're still calling it monkeypox when I get back. Let's see.
Probably.
There'll be another kind of pox.
Because listen, I hope they're not giving us any of that monkey business over this. So they, I don't want to be a monkey in the middle over the whole thing.
Have a monkey on your back. Yeah. That'd be the worst thing.
I feel bad for Curious George, though.
Well, I feel bad for him for different reasons. I think that man in the yellow hat was up to stuff.
Well, and he probably can't get away with that nowadays.
No, and he was dressed like a banana.
They should check the guy in the yellow hat's cell phone videos and
they should check his laptop.
Check his laptop.
It's got a hole in it. Anyway, yeah. So it's like the popcorn trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Your J key is missing. No, it's not.
All right, man. Yes. Hey, yeah, definitely come back and we'll talk and keep. We just want to keep this going. We want to help. We're not only promoting ourselves, promoting Ask the Varies, but also our friends in the business, and we will keep going. Remember to buy T-shirts and things like that. We still have some of these left.
You got to do that.
Yeah. So and be on the lookout. Tim's out there. He's touring the world.
I'm out there naked.
No shirt.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.